Now,
Washington Monument.
you're going to be modeling with your hands. So first of all, just get it so that you're going to push it in. What part of your hand would you use? Just notice you can, what's like to do that or to do this. And of course some people want to make a ball. No, not that. Just using your hands. And try and get this now into a perfect sphere.
Goodness.
Without rolling. So using your hands.
Oh, we're just trying to tell you so it'll get in trouble.
First you're playing Rachel's part.
This is your
part.
isn't it? We got this. I'm an expert though.
And again, it's the same part of you trying to do. How are you going to sense this? Are you going to look at it? Or both? You know that here, you try and use your fingers as the sensing organ. So it's a sense of touch. So you can use your hands to shape it, but now feel with your hands to sort of feel its roundness. So making it round. You can probably do a bit of rolling like that, but not on the table. I think I'm going to roll out a chair to come at the end here. You do form drawing in 2 dimensions, and this in 3. There's always an interesting question about using clay, and when do you start to use it? What's the best modelling medium? At what level? And there's an interesting, some people like to use wax, beeswax. But the element, I think, with beeswax is you want to use your fingers. And so you need to be aware that when you'd use beeswax, if you want to draw children into their fingers, that's a thing to use. But here, it's a little bit more in your whole hand. So, and also you can do the main shaping, and then you can use your thumb as a thing to help shape things. So you find that some bumps are not there, but you can start to use your thumb to smooth it out. So what we're doing is moulding. You know, we're taking something and we're shifting it internally. Because there's other kind of sculpting processes. If you're in stone, you're going to chip away the stone, and once it's gone, it doesn't come back. So it's a process of reduction. Here you've got a certain mass, and you're going to push it around in different ways. And there's another one you can do, but also with clay. So you can start with a little piece and take little bits and put it on. So you can build up bit by bit, cut it away like with stone, or you can take a shape and transform it by pressure. So you have to be, and so we're doing mainly here, transforming by pressure. So it's a kind of transformation process, not analysis or synthesis. So it's always good that when you've done this for a little while that we'll pass them around the circle and you can begin to feel, just have a good feel of what your one is like. And now we'll pass it, what you've got, to the person on your right. And you can feel. In what way is it different?
Warmer.
Yes, in my case it was warmer.
Heavier.
So
Bigger.
We can't go all around the circle. There must be as many warms as there are colds. If we kept passing around the circle, would we get lost? Okay, once more. So this is trying to remember where yours one might be. Oh, that's colder.
Yeah.
Okay, once more. Oh, heavier.
The little ones are warm, the big ones are cold.
And again.
The warm one. Little ones.
There was a living person touching us.
Oh, yeah. What the heck? That's weird.
And again. You can't have it. Again. And again. Are we back yet?
I don't know. No, one more.
Again.
I'm not sure.
No, not one more.
No, not yet.
I don't think this
Mine's
one's
big.
mine.
I think
Yeah.
that one's
One more.
You have mine.
This is it.
Yeah, this is it now.
Yeah, this is mine.
Crazy how you can tell yours.
So, have you got a really good sphere yet? All the little dents sort of pushed out of it. So this is a convex shape, sort of it's all curved outward. So one thing, there's many different ways you can start, but one is to sort of, you can take this and begin to make a concave part by pressing in. So with your thumb, you just begin to make a little dent in it. Just gently, then a bit more, pressing down, so you're making a hollow in it. So that's now a concave part. You've got a convex and a concave. And just keep pressing with thumb, making it deeper, deeper, so that it sort of becomes quite a big hollow. Can you still keep this sort of sphere on the outside, because it's now growing in size, because the clay that you're pushing out has to go somewhere, so the whole thing has to stretch. But I want you to try and keep the place where your thumb goes in quite small, because I want to sort of get to the point where you can say, can you keep going and then close it off, so you have a hollow ball. Without pressing your thumb through the bottom. So you have to have a feeling, you have to have a sense of how thick is it in different places. So you're using another sensory aspect. What sense would it be? Is it the sense of touch? Is it the sense of life? Is it the sense of movement?
It's got something to do with distance.
Mm-hmm.
Distance,
Spatial.
awareness of where two different.
And what sense is that? It's a sense.
Proprioception.
It's, well, a sense of movement, yes, or appropriate. A sense of movement that knows where, you close your, knows where parts of you are. So, you've made it hollow, and now, this is the interesting part, can you begin to close it off so that it becomes like a hollow ball? This is now the hard bit, to reduce. It's one thing to make it bigger, now to try and reduce it. Just saying, I was wondering if you wanted to be part of doing this, but now just really smooth it off, make a sort of feeling that it's There's something about the sphere with its sort of uniformity, it's a kind of universal aspect, that so that if you get it right, no matter from where you look at it, it's the same. So that's that element of universality, whereas other forms have, each angle has a kind of individual aspect. You can tell as to whichever angle you look at it, it's going to be different. Whereas with a sphere, and the same applies to the circle.
Like the sun.
Yes, like the sun. Like a drop of water as well, except drops of water tend to be already affected by gravity and form a pear shape. So you've got your palm, your thumb and your fingers as a kind of threefold moulding activity. Get a little bit of water on your fingers and then you can just get it back to, stops it drying out too much without back into a sphere. So this time, when for a sphere, I want you to now gradually transform it into an egg shape. So it's going to be larger at one end and more pointed at the other. So again, a very primal form, the egg, from the sphere to the egg. Yes, there's one of the teachers in the Waldorf school in Scotland, Edinburgh, Lawrence Edwards, worked out the mathematical curve for the egg, and then he discovered that this mathematical form was found in all the, in the buds of many different plants, so the flower buds, the pine cones, and those all had the similar form. You might say a kind of nascent form, a beginning, the beginning of a flower, the bud, and where the seeds were kept in a pine cone, and even aspects of the heart and the uterus. He found that, but this form, mathematically, it could be made into all sorts of shapes. All these cones and things have a different shapes, variations of the same idea. But if you push the thing forward, it then also goes into the water forms. When water goes down down a plug, it's got a big vortex, and the same curve could be transformed into that of the water going down there, but also the spiral of a tornado. It was fascinating that all those things should be, as it were, sort of related. And he has his book, The Field of Form, where he talks about that. Now, so this is the beginning of something. Now, I think this little fellow wants to turn into some creature. What creature could it be? Look at it. Can you sort of see somewhere an emerging creature that we need to help come out? Depends how you hold it. If you hold it like this, what creature? Is there a creature there?
Does it matter? A hedgehog? There's a hedgehog.
A hedgehog, maybe? What else?
Guinea pig. A guinea pig.
Guinea pig? Maybe even a mouse. You have to have a little bit longer to be a mouse, but yeah.
That could be a cuttlefish.
What's that?
That could be a cuttlefish.
Cuttlefish.
I
Yeah.
could punch it like 6 times.
There's a number of things you could putting up like this, and you could make it into a penguin. What I'm suggesting we do together is actually take it into a little rodent, a mouse, And what I want you to do is take this and bring it out a bit and see if you can make a snout and just two little ears. So just make this thing come now even more out. And think now that you're going to make this into, the snout of a mouse is actually quite thin.